Hello everyone, this is TechBizmo. Today I'm going to be doing the top 5 Linux distributions in 2018. Let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to actually note something before I get started, and the thing I'd like to note is that you guys may realize that the video quality is either a little bit of a, kind of fuzzy quality. So there's just something I wanted to let you guys know. I will hopefully be solving this issue right after this video. I have not been receiving this issue in Windows. I've only been coming across this issue when I use Linux, honestly, so hopefully I can fix this issue. I'm not going to just completely leave Linux if I can't get this issue fixed, but, there's just something to let you guys know that this video will be a little bit choppy, or a little bit of a crappy quality. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started with the top Linux distributions 2018. So the first Linux distribution I have for you guys to use is Linux Mint. Now, Linux Mint has come a long way, and Linux Mint 19.1 is no exception. This is a great Linux distribution. I love it. It just came out a few days ago, and as you guys may have noticed, my Linux Mint 19.1 review, I apologize, just came out at the same time this video came out. So yeah, Linux Mint is a wonderful Linux distribution. It's especially good for Linux starters. If you want to get into starting to use Linux, then Linux Mint is the way to go. It is also a very advanced Linux distribution, depending on the way you look at it. So, but this is a distribution I would definitely recommend to you Linux starters out there. So yeah, but that's not this video. This video I'm going to be making a best Linux distributions for Linux starters for 2018. I will also make one for 2019 next year. Well, yeah, anyways, Linux Mint is just a great distribution. The desktop environment selections that you have are Cinnamon, Mate, and XFCE. And I'm going to be honest, Cinnamon is a little bit laggy, as you guys can see. I think this lagging right here has to do with me recording and some kind of issue with my graphics card, because every time I record, it's in Windows and in different desktop environments. In different Linux distributions in general, I am able to get that full 60 FPS and 1080p footage. So hopefully I'll be able to fix this in Linux Mint. But if not, then yeah, I'm still going to recommend Linux Mint to you guys out there. Great distribution, by the way. But yeah, the desktop environments you have, again, are Cinnamon, Mate, and XFCE, and I am going to be honest with you guys, XFCE is probably the best one out there. Linux Mint 19.1 XFCE is just a great Linux distribution. I love having the XFCE desktop environment, especially with my favorite Linux distribution. It's starting to not be my favorite Linux distribution, but, that could just be compatibility issues with my NVIDIA graphics processor, or, it's actually my Intel graphics processor that is my main GPU, so I don't know. Hopefully I can get this issue worked out a little bit after this video. Anyways, yeah, Linux Mint is a great Linux distribution. Last update was just on the 20th, actually, so yeah, exactly 10 days ago. Yeah, it's also based on Ubuntu LTS, which Ubuntu LTS is based on Debian, so there you guys go. There is my number one choice for Linux distributions in 2018. My next Linux distribution choice I have for you guys is Ubuntu, and Ubuntu is based on Debian, and the desktop environments you get with Ubuntu are GNOME and Unity. Well, basically, you can install Unity after the installation. And yeah, this is just also a very, very great Linux distribution. I love it. I use it quite a lot, especially on my other computers. I don't use it a lot on my main computers. And as you guys can see, the last update to Ubuntu was today, actually. So yeah, the last update to Ubuntu is actually today. This is also a pretty good beginner's Linux distribution. It's also a really great server distribution, live medium distribution, and especially great for desktop. So, you know, even if you're a beginner at Linux, at using Linux, I meant to say, this is still a wonderful Linux distribution to use. It is good for beginners, and it is good for you typical Linux users out there. So, definitely would recommend Ubuntu. Great Linux distribution. Let's go ahead and head on to the next one. Okay, the next Linux distribution I have for you guys is Fedora, and Fedora is its own Linux distribution. It's not based on anything, and this is also a very, very great Linux distribution. I will let you guys know really quick, though. It is, however, not a very good Linux beginner distribution. It is, however, still a really great desktop environment. Look at all these, distribution, I apologize. Look at all these desktops you have to choose from. You've got Awesome, Cinnamon, Enlightenment, GNOME, KDE Plasma, LXDE, LXQT, Mate, OpenBox, Rat Poison, and XFCE. And as you guys can see, the category is desktop, server, and live medium. The last update apparently was also today. It's actually just their latest update. That doesn't mean, a, major release or anything. It just means an update. Yeah, very great Linux distribution. I have used Fedora quite a lot in previous years, though I would let you guys know that I would prefer Korora if it wasn't dormant. Because currently the Korora Linux distribution, which is basically, as Tom from Switch to Linux likes to refer it as, the the Fedora that works. And yes, I definitely agree with Tom. Fedora can have some issues, and Korora is definitely better than Fedora in some ways. But Korora, you guys really need to catch up on the latest update of Fedora, which is, I believe, 29. Alright, let's go ahead and head over to the next Linux distribution, which we have Debian. And Debian, or Debian, or Debian, however you guys want to pronounce that, is also a very great Linux distribution. Though I would like to let you guys know, this is also not a very beginner-friendly distribution. This is what Ubuntu is based on, and yeah. The main reason why I wouldn't consider it as a beginner's distribution, I'm not saying you beginners won't be able to do this, but the install process is long, and you basically have to know what you're doing. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, you've also got a whole lot of desktop environments to choose from. I believe you've also got desktop environments that you can choose from after the installation. You can just install them after the installation via terminal, and that is extremely easy. You can see the category is desktop, live medium, and server, and yeah, it is also based on itself. I like to say it's based on itself, but it's just independent. So, yeah, and you guys can see it is indeed, the OS type is indeed Linux BSD. Alright, we'll go ahead and head over to our next one, which is Manjaro Linux. And Manjaro Linux is a Arch Linux-based distribution, and this one is also not something I'd recommend as a beginner's distribution. But anyways, I guess I can throw this in here anyways. It's just not a very great beginner's beginner's distribution. I keep wanting to say desktop environment, but yeah. You can see it is indeed based on Arch. Yeah, it's also got a variety of desktop environments to choose from, and I would love to say, I am going to say this, Arch Linux-based distributions are awesome, because the Arch package manager is awesome. Like, I really love the Arch Linux package manager. Though I'm not going to include Arch Linux on this, even though it would count as one of my favorite Linux distributions, but that'll probably be in a different video stating my favorite Linux distributions, because this is not my favorite. All these are not my favorite Linux distributions. These are just the distributions I'd recommend. And basically the distributions that have gotten better in 2018. And I have to say, all of these Linux distributions definitely, without a doubt, have gotten way better in 2018. And yeah, I'd recommend all of these Linux distributions. They're very great Linux distributions to use. Even some of them that I said aren't really for beginners, they actually can be used as beginner distributions. For example, Fedora, you can start to learn Fedora pretty easily, though it varies on the type of person you are. If you learn easily and stuff like that. Like when I was learning Linux, the first Linux distribution I used were Ubuntu. The first Linux distributions, plural, I used were Ubuntu and Linux Mint 18.1. Or it might have been 18. No, I believe it was 18.1. And then I was at my buddy's house when Linux Mint 18.2 was released. That was awesome. We both installed 18.3. So, yeah. But yeah, all these distributions I would definitely recommend. They have gotten so good in 2018. Not like they were bad before. They were awesome Linux distributions the previous year, 2017. I'm just saying they've gotten even better throughout the years. Well, anyways, guys, that is pretty much it. I thank you guys very, very much for watching this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and be sure to check out some of my other videos. Other than that, guys, this is TechBizmo. Thank you guys very much for watching.